Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Lisa Preps. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. So today's topic is preventing radiation toxicity through diet. And we did a video a couple days ago about, prepping for our home and a potential nuclear fallout. And I wanted to follow up with that because the bottom line is, as human beings, we have to worry about how our body is affected by radiation. And I had a subscriber actually send me a note that said, make sure you prep apple juice. And I was thinking, apple juice? Why would I prep apple juice? And I tried to do some research on it. I didn't find out much about apple juice, but I did find out about apple pectin. There was one story about a fireman in Chernobyl that had gone to the site, had worked, and before going to the hospital, he went home and he said he drank 3 liters of apple juice. And then he went into the hospital. Many of his coworkers had died from the radiation poisoning, but he survived. And they said, and I don't remember the units, but say like a toxic level of units was 400. He had a level of 300. So maybe the apple juice helped flush out his system. Maybe he didn't get as exposed as other people did to get to that toxic 400 level. But the bottom line was he survived. And so maybe that's where the apple juice story came in. But the fact is that apple pectin was in a study, and I'll share that with you in a few moments. But I want to do a little introduction here because this is a complicated subject, and I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for everybody. And to get to the bottom line, because we just want to know what it is that we can eat or drink that will help us to, will be a helpful preventative against radiation and also a therapeutic in case we are exposed. What can we take to help us get rid of it? So this is the introduction I wrote up. Radioactive elements masquerade as nutrients and get absorbed by the body. When radioactive elements are released into the air and water, they mimic nutrients and find their way into our food supply and into our bodies. A radioactive element is a chemically unstable form of an element that is formed during nuclear fission, a process that occurs during production of nuclear weapons and nuclear power. These unstable elements can damage tissue, cells, membranes, and DNA. The damage can lead to altered hormone function, bone decay, which is osteoporosis, immune suppression, altered cell membrane function, which is cancer. If we don't ingest enough healthy essential nutrients, the body will absorb the radioactive imposters. So dangerous nutrient imposters are sent to do the jobs of healthy nutrients and become incorporated into our bones, brain, soft tissue, and crucial hormone producing organs such as ovaries, testes, and pancreas. Critical periods of development can be irreversibly disrupted, leading to altered functioning of the brain, the nervous system, cardiovascular system, etc. Fetus and developing children are especially sensitive to radiation. So that's the gist of what I wanted to say. So in other words, these radioactive elements, they'll mimic the elements that we need, and they'll get into our bodies, and then they contaminate it and cause tissue damage and irreversible damage. And children are especially susceptible to this. So I'm sorry. There are ways that we can help our bodies from absorbing the radiation in the first place. And then also, if we do absorb it, how we can get rid of it. Like these foods that I'm about to talk about are ways that, if we eat them, the nutrients in those foods will be inside of our bodies, and that'll prevent the radiation from being allowed to come in and take over. So I'm going to go through the list right now. Drum roll. These are the foods, and it's funny because a lot of them were very foreign to me, and they probably won't sound familiar to a lot of you, but these are the foods, and some of them will be able to grow. Some of them I think we'll need to take in a supplement form, and so we're going to go through them now. Okay, the number one food was spirulina, which is an algae. Spirulina. Spirulina. Second one was chlorella. Third one, seaweed. Fourth, kelp. 5 is miso soup. 6 is Hokkaido pumpkin. 7, organic brewer's yeast. 8, black green tea. 9, garlic. 10, onions. 11, wheatgrass. 12, apples. Also, apples have the most pectin, but other fruits also have pectin, like plums, pears, guava, oranges, grapefruit, and gooseberries. So 13 is lemons. 14, parsley. 15 are beets. Beets are high in fiber. They're terrific blood cleansers. They rebuild hemoglobin after radiation exposure, and they make sure you need to make sure that you take organic only, non-GMO. You can grow your own in containers, and they store for a long time. Sauerkraut is number 16. 17 is ginger. 18, avocado. 19, horseradish. 20, cruciferous vegetables such as kale, Brussel sprouts, cabbage, and broccoli. They contain a sulfur, which is a detoxifying agent. 21, cold pressed coconut oil. You can take 2 tablespoons per day prophylactically. It's an antifungal and an antiviral agent. 22 is organic extra virgin olive oil. Oils such as sesame oil, extra virgin olive oil, and coconut oil have been found to resist some types of radiation. Sources recommend drinking 4 ounces of oil if you have been exposed to radiation. Not only do the oils bind toxins, but they also offer a protective layer on cellular membranes. 23 is vitamin C. Helps with your immunity. Number 24 is calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D3. You can take in a combination pill or have a multivitamin. And 25 is zeolite. I found the zeolite in many forms on Amazon, but zeolite is crystalline rocks which have the remarkable ability to absorb radioactive strontium and cesium, and they're great for detox. Okay, so that's the list, and I just wanted to explain something that I had learned through the research I did, that some of these superfoods are basically used to help build up your immune system in your body. They, they're making sure that your organs and your bones have all the nutrition that they need. So you can actually take them, take them now and just use them as a supplement to build up all the nutrients in your body that you need. So if there is some sort of emergency, that you're in a much better position to be able to handle the radiation and not get the radiation sickness. And then others of these can be used therapeutically if you are exposed to radiation. I think all of them you can take prophylactically, but if you don't want to do that and just have them on hand for an emergency, things like the spirulina and the apple pectin, like you can use those to help expel radiation. And I'm going to go over some of the case studies that I found using those products after the fact. So, you know, and they're also, just to note that like a lot of these things you can't grow in your garden. You can't grow kelp. You can't grow you know, the chlorella or the spirulina. I can't ever pronounce this. But you can get these in supplements. They're relatively inexpensive and they'll store easily. This had an expiration date of 2023. So, you know, eventually you're going to have to use them even if they're just there for emergencies. You know, it won't hurt you to take them. And I think there's a lot of health benefits to these. So it's funny because also in doing this research, I realized, and I hadn't thought about it before, but things like garlic and onions and ginger and horseradish, I always just looked at them as like flavorings to my cooking, kind of just to give it a flavor. But they actually add a lot of nutritional value to your food and a lot of benefits that I just never thought about. So maybe I'm late to the party and everybody knows that, but you know, I think it's important to realize things, even like parsley, they all add health benefits to our diet. So I just want to go over some of these products that I had purchased. The Spirulina, again, that is, there were 250 tablets. Let me show you what these look like. You can buy this in a powder form, but they're also in these pill forms. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so there's 6 in a serving. Okay, and then I bought the fermented chlorella, and these are really good for you. Garlic, I know a lot of us can grow garlic, but if you run out, you no longer have fresh garlic, you can buy the supplements. I had learned with garlic, if you crush the garlic, like a nice prophylactic to use every day is to take 2 cloves of garlic and crush them lightly and then eat them every day. And I guess they have really good health benefits. Kelp granules, they use that instead of salt, but you can buy the supplement pills as well. And then I bought organic extra virgin olive oil, a huge container of this. It's over 2 liters. I got this at Costco for like $11. And let's see. I bought some seaweed. This can be used as a snack. I got this at Whole Foods, but people use this to make sushi with, or you can shred it up and put it in miso soup. Put the miso soup, instant soup. And that's about all I have in front of me. And then I ordered quite a few things on Amazon, and I've left the links below for you. So let's briefly talk about some of these case studies that attracted my attention. There was one with the A-bomb in Hiroshima in 1945. There was a doctor who fed his staff and patients a strict macrobiotic diet of brown rice, miso soup, wakame and other sea vegetables, Hokkaido pumpkin, and sea salt, and prohibited the consumption of sugar and sweets. As a result, he saved everyone in his hospital, while many other survivors in the city perished from radiation sickness. So although many people survived the initial bombing at Hiroshima, many shortly after the bombing died of radiation poisoning, and his small group of people, his staff and his patients, all lived. And he attributes that to the diet that he gave them of brown rice, sea vegetables, sea salt, and no sweets. So there's that. Iodine. It's been recorded that 20 years after the Chernobyl disaster, the Polish people treated with iodine 127 have almost 1,000 times less thyroid disease than neighboring countries, even further than Poland from the disaster site that was being treated with iodine. Apple pectin, children from Chernobyl were given apple pectin. They did a study and they gave some of the children apple pectin, and then other children just got a placebo, and they were both groups were given fresh food. And see how much time. Doesn't say the exact time frame they gave it to them, but once the study was done, they showed that the children given the pectin powder reduced their radiation by an average of 62%, whereas the placebo children had only reduced it 13.9%. And then so that was considered medically significant. They went from 62%, they decreased their radiation levels compared to the control group that only got 13.9% reduction after being taken away and given just fresh food. So the only difference in the children was the apple pectin. So apple pectin, I ordered some online at Amazon, and it was like $8.90 for the container. I forget how many were in it, but it's a relatively inexpensive supplement, and that seems to me like it would be a really good one to have on hand to have in your preps for any sort of radiation emergency. And then and the last one I'll cover is Spirulina, and that was also given to the children in Chernobyl. There was a group of children, let me see how many. Well, let me read you about the disaster a little bit. Years after the Chernobyl disaster, 4 million people in Ukraine and Belarus continue to live in dangerously radioactive areas. The water, soil, and food over an 11,000 square mile area were contaminated. Over 160,000 children were victims of radiation poisoning with birth defects, leukemia, cancer, thyroid disease, anemia, loss of vision and appetite, and depressed immune systems called Chernobyl AIDS. Based on promising international research, the indicated spirulina may be beneficial against effects of radiation. While I was president of Earthwise Company, Earthwise donated spirulina to children of Chernobyl hospitals in Belarus and Ukraine in 1989. Doctors reported that spirulina's health benefits for child victims of Chernobyl radiation reduced urine radioactivity levels by 50% in 20 days. The result was achieved by giving 5 grams a day to children at the Minsk Belarus Institute of Radiation and Medicine. The institute program treated 100 children every 20 days. In 1991, a study of 49 kindergarten children ages 3 to 7 years old, there was spirulina was given to 49 children for 45 days, and the doctors found T-cell suppressors and beneficial hormones rose, and in 83% of the children, radioactivity of the urine decreased. So that's all good stuff. Again, that's the spirulina supplement was given to those children. So as far as the supplements go, both the apple pectin supplement and the spirulina supplement were given to people during these disasters and found to be very effective in treating them. So I think that they're good things to have in your preps in case there's a nuclear emergency. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to try to leave the a document in the description box. If I can't attach it, I'm just going to like cut and paste it and leave it in there for you. And it'll have links to the different supplements that I have listed, and also the the resources that I found online so that you can look into things further. I'm trying to give you a brief overview. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already long enough. But I did want to say in my research, and not that this is nefarious, I'm going to go with that it's not a nefarious intent by the governments, but in all these cases that I read, people felt like they were just left out in the cold. You know, they felt when these disasters happened, there was misinformation. They didn't know what to think. They were getting different stories from different people. And really, I'm sure a lot of people died from lack of care or understanding what was happening. And that is why people prepare. That's why you have to be self-reliant and understand these things ahead of time. I'm not naive. I don't know, because I've never lived through like some sort of nuclear disaster. I don't know what the consequences are going to be. All I know is that this gives me some peace of mind knowing, reading what had happened to people prior, and then how they, things that they found that helped them. And, you know, as of right now, I haven't heard of anything else. I mean, nobody's come out and said, oh, that's all outdated. You should, you know, you need to do this. So I'm going to go with what the research that I've done. And if you have found any other information and you want to post it down below, the whole point of this channel and other prepper channels is really to share knowledge so that we can all learn and hopefully improve our lives and our chances of survival in case of a disaster. And I just appreciate you all being here. I heard that Pinball gave me a shout out in one of his videos, and I want to thank him for that. My subscribers really increased today, so that was a nice surprise. So thank you all for tuning in, and please leave comments below. Please like and share. And thank you once again. I hope everybody stays safe, and until the next time, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.